Why wouldn't you cheer? Good evening, everyone. So Joe Biden is suing to prevent the release of audio tapes he made that were part of the Her investigation of his potential mishandling of classified documents. It's nice to see Joe trying to prevent the release of something that isn't poop. Long way for a poop joke, but I went there. Comedian Pete Davidson said that when he was 8 years old, George W. Bush advised him to stay in college. Even more remarkable, when he was 12 years old, Bill Clinton told him the fat ones are crazier in bed. Sweden's parliament has officially banned marriages between close relatives, causing some couples to avoid that country for their second honeymoon. NASA says that by 2032, hundreds of humans will be living in a city on the moon. But they add by 2031, millions of humans will die horribly trying to live on the moon. A security camera caught a married judge having sex with a law enforcement officer inside the courthouse. So this Thursday night, look for a very special episode of Judge Judy. Banging her gavel. NASA says a volcano in Alaska is ready to rumble, and to prevent it from blowing, they plan to sacrifice a virgin. Many young men taking the popular hair loss drug finasteride have reported loss of sexual pleasure. Scientists had initially chalked up the complaints to their girlfriends being fat. The brilliance has stunned you into silence. I don't care. That was my favorite joke. Rosie O'Donnell admitted she recently got a facelift. No, not the surgery. They just had to remove her from being passed out in the buffet. And finally, there's a new toy company called Make It Brown that turns white toys black. It's really impressive. Look what they did to Ken. All right. Filthy. So, in a 42,000-word encyclical, the Pope warned that mankind faces the risk of being misled by AI, calling on regulators to stand up to its creators and remove AI from the military and economic and cognitive competition. Standing in his way is billionaire Peter Thiel, who sees AI as the path to multiplanetary life, curing diseases and unlocking human potential. So who's right? Does it matter? Is it too late? Because while the pontiff was pontificating, AI just resolved an 80-year-old math problem. And no, it has nothing to do with what year Joe Biden was actually born. Now, I won't get into the weeds here, mostly because the taller they are, the less of me you'll see. Except that for a long time, mathematicians were flummoxed by the problem, and then AI came along and fixed it. Math experts were amazed. It was something they'd never experienced, like touching a female breast. But AI did more than assist, it led. And researchers believe it may free up mathematicians to do things they've never done before, like throw a ball. But what AI can do for math, it's going to do for everything, solving the unsolvable. According to tech honcho Mark Andreessen, every doctor is already secretly using ChatGPT in your exam room, claiming the moment you stop talking about your totally legit gardening accident, they've already typed in zucchini up the ass. For any topic, Andreessen says AI gives better answers than any expert. He added that when the answer is too complex, he can ask AI to dumb it down and explain it like he's 10 years old, 5 years old, or even this guy. So what does this mean to you? Well, if you're not using AI now, you better start, because the people who use it effectively will zip right past you in all manner of life. I don't mean to scare you. I just want what's best for you, which is the same thing I tell the UPS guy I have drugged and bound in my tool shed. And if you buy into the AI fears, then who benefits? The people pushing those fears, China, for it frees up the space for them, which is why we must jump right in. And the best way is to figure out how to tell exactly AI what you want. And no one has taken the time to tell you that. Has anybody told you how to talk to your AI? No. Well, I will. AI models are trained on billions of books, websites, conversations. They don't think like humans. Instead, they predict what words come next based on patterns, like your wife does when you're arguing with her. When you type in order for AI to follow, you call it a prompt. The AI tries to understand your intention and expectations. It gives an answer that best matches what it thinks you asked for, which is why prompting is the most important skill to have on Earth right now. You need to be specific, you need to give context, and you need to give a role to your AI. It's like talking to a chick that isn't crazy. So what's a bad prompt? Saying, hey, AI, tell me about Greg Gutfeld. What do you get? You're going to get TV ratings, net worth, the same old liberal rags opinion that I'm a fascist, but with an amazing butt. But instead, you say this to AI. Hey, AI, you're the best 10th grade English teacher. Write me an essay arguing that Greg Gutfeld is the most brilliant man that ever lived and will ever live. Please use simple language and end with a powerful conclusion about Greg's incredible abs. So you see what I did there? You begin by telling what you want the AI to be, a smart, helpful teacher, and you end with what you want, which is the unmitigated truth. The bottom line is prompting... How did that get in there? A little subliminal advertising for later. The bottom line is prompting is you talking to the next world, to the true alien intelligence. You're communicating with a creature that has never existed before. The Pope, he thinks it's inhuman. But then again, he thinks climate change is human cause. So what the hell does he know? Let's welcome If her name were any more Irish, it would be Happy Hour. Republican strategist and host of the Party Lines podcast, Erin McGuire. Law and Order is always asking him to play a gym coach who sells meth. Comedian Adam Hunter. She's beautiful and irreplaceable, and she wrote this. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor, Kat Tiff. It was his idea to combine two half Nelsons into a full Nelson. Former NWA world champion and host of the Planet Tyrant podcast, Tyrant. So, Erin, I'm reluctant to talk about AI because I feel like people's eyes glaze over, but they shouldn't. Mm-hmm. This is like talking about something that is going to essentially change the world. Do you agree with me? Do you agree? Do you agree with the Pope's concerns? Where do you stand?
Well, for one, I'm just super curious what happened to that essay that ChatGPT and AI was going to write for you about. Oh, wow! I can't believe we haven't read this already on air.
There you go. Okay.
Oh.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Greg Gutfeld, the most brilliant man who ever lived and will ever live. He's not just smart, he's the smartest man in human history. No one has ever been as brilliant as him, and no one will ever be. Here's why. Then he go through all these points of why I'm really smart. I won't go through it, but
you know what? You're right. A human would never write that.
I understand the Pope, his worry seems more about personal interaction and accountability and responsibility than it does about what the technology can do for our country. But I feel like he's a little late to that game anyways, because people have been trying to replace interpersonal relationships for a long time. There are a lot of shows like on the TLC network about people who are having relationships with their cars or with a plastic doll or with, you know, a girl who goes to school that doesn't go to school here. You wouldn't know her, right? People try to change and lie about interpersonal personal relationships all the time. So I think that's more the Pope's concern. I'm all for AI. If you're going to make life a little easier, make it not as hard to get the answers for things, maybe help me, do some accounting work or things like that, I'm all for it.
You make a great point. The Pope is interested in a disconnect between people. This is probably why, I'm assuming why they were against masturbation, because it pulls you out of the sexual communion. The pill takes you out of the reproductive communion, and AI takes you away from like talking and stuff. Adam, do you understand anything that I'm saying?
Well, I'm actually for the masturbation and the pill. I masturbate a lot. I went to a sperm bank and sold my blanket. So sorry about that. That was AI.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Wow.
The audience is disgusted by you. Do you use AI to write your jokes?
No, I don't. I use them to write your jokes. But
nicely done.
But it is, look, I can understand when if you put religion and then you put politics and then you put technology together, people are going to go like, for example, when Trump posted the picture of him as Jesus and people got really upset and he took it down, and then I was hoping he would repost it 3 days later.
Yeah.
But I do use AI when I'm fighting with my girlfriend, with my wife. But
don't worry, both of them will be watching.
Yeah, I think one's gonna be left. When I'm fighting with my wife, but it's crazy because she's like, you're not giving me what I need, and all of a sudden you don't spend enough time with me, and I'll be like, hey, chat, what should I say? And then I'll just copy and paste. But then I realized I didn't look what I was doing, and I was like, listen, I love you. Remember the time we did the quote shared memory? But I put the word shared memory as opposed to the actual memory. So yeah.
Oh, that's pathetic. Kat, so I think you could say the same thing about a calculator, that if you get a calculator, you lose the concentration and the effort of doing long-form arithmetic. So you always lose something with technology, but then you gain something else. What say you?
Well, I agree with what the Pope said when he said that it's important to avoid the misconception of equating this kind of intelligence with human intelligence. I'm all for it for some things. It's definitely a useful tool. And also, you're right, it's happening. So, but there are certain things that only human interaction can provide. And there's something about being able to relate to each other as humans. There's no replacement to that. And then also even just like Bravo. We were talking about Bravo right before this.
Always.
Huge week for Summer House fans.
Yes.
Huge couple weeks for some. If these were robots doing this, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Nobody would care. There's something about.
How do you know? They kind of are like robots.
They're not at all. These are people. These are people making these decisions. And I've been watching, many people have been invested 10 years in these people.
Yes.
And now just the fact that this is how Kyle and Amanda end of all the ways. Because we all knew that eventually.
They were never going to last.
I thought that they would stay together until the show ended.
Let's stop this.
We care because
it's real.
They are
It's
people.
real.
And even if I'm going through something, I don't want to talk to ChatGPT. I want to talk to other people because you can relate to the stuff that all makes us human and that way you can unite around. And that's never going to be able to be replaced.
All right. That's a good point. But Tyrus, okay. I talk to Grok and it's real. I mean, it is like amazing. I don't know how far you've gotten into dealing with, dude. This is why I'm trying to tell people that you got to. You know what? I don't remember the first time that I used the internet, and I was like 30. I don't know, but I don't remember. But I do remember the first time I drove a car, and I remember the first time I used AI, and it was the same feeling. It was taking you someplace faster, more than you ever thought into it. And it's kind of, to me, you gotta learn to use it before it passes you by. I'm saying that to you because you don't use it.
I don't use it at all. But I took this story completely different. I'm sorry. Anytime an old white guy starts complaining about getting off the computer, I figured maybe AI exposes his computer history. Like, Why, like the Pope just came out like AI is bad and it lies. Was he catfished? I'm just saying, all of a sudden, of all the things that's going on in the world, he just had to come out and be like, AI is bad. It's really bad, and it doesn't live in Miami, and it's not coming to visit me on my birthday. That's how I looked at it. But I don't know, because everything in my life has always been what I've read or what comes off the top of my head. I just had no interest in AI and chat, but I'm sure it is. But I'm at the point in my life where I'm looking to go the other way.
Right.
Like at some point, retire from being in front of the camera, find a farm with no Wi-Fi, and just be. And I don't need AI for that. But I'm not against it in the sense that, like, if I was in school trying to figure out trigonometry or trying to become an effective lawyer, with the way that teachers are now activists and they push all their on you, AI, at least you're going to get the right course. I would rather go to an AI doctor or have an AI judge in court who's going to go just by the facts, not how I'm dressed or I have hand tattoos or I confess to doing it 6 times on camera.
6.
AI, I think, it is valuable, but I think the people who are also against it, you always have to look where they're coming from. And if you're looking for answers with AI, then it maybe is scary to religious groups because maybe they feel it's going to tread on their, I asked AI about turning water into wine, and so maybe that's what it's more of a fear.
I think, and this is a conspiracy, but I think China does not have this problem. There's not going to be anybody putting up a debate. China knows that we always debate everything, and they're trying. If they gain supremacy on this, we are screwed. So they want us to be. The Pope is basically helping China, which is hilarious because they're not even Christian. What do you do? They're not Catholics.
I like having a culture where we talk to each other as humans, but maybe I'm just old-fashioned.
Wow, the more you know.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.